common thing I hear from clients often is that they say they may or may not like a food due to its texture. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about 3 common textures of foods that we tend to be drawn to for various reasons. And I'm going to match up the foods we're drawn to with the psychological component behind those, or the emotional component. Just because it's kind of fun when we start looking at our patterns and our tendencies, our go-to foods, and then thinking about the psychological aspect behind that. So one of the foods that we tend to crave a lot are really soft foods and comforting foods such as ice cream. Or ice cream puddings, they might have sugar in them, anything that's really creamy, pies. Obviously those type of foods psychologically we look at is really, they would say, a need for comfort. We're looking for feeling comfortable, feeling good, feeling happy. I often think of sitting on the couch with a blanket around yourself, right? Providing comfort. A lot of us have happy feelings when we eat foods like that because we've had experiences in the past, maybe at our relatives where they served dessert and it was ice cream or something yummy. And where that becomes problematic is when we get into a pattern of just always eating that and not realizing maybe we do have a need for more comfort. So those are kind of interesting to just consider the other mechanism of action of the emotional part behind it potentially. The second one are crunchy foods. I often hear people say, I just really crave crunchy foods, or I want, carrots or chips or things, or pretzels that just nuts and seeds. And when we get to talking, more so, I always kind of like to let people know a lot of times crunchy foods, along with meat, can be an expression of frustration in people where they're just feeling a lot of tension or frustration. Sometimes it can go as far as anger, and that's just good to think of in yourself. If you're always craving, something crunchy, that can be a sign of stress, and that stress can turn into frustration. So if you find yourself on that pattern, just kind of ask yourself, am I stressed right now, or what's going on? And the third one would be when we crave really fulfilling foods, really rich foods, such as, say, pasta, primavera, or fettuccine, casseroles, things that are very sort of heavy. And when we get in those patterns and we're eating that quite frequently, psychologically that lends itself to looking at a need to feel fulfilled. So if you find yourself feeling that you need these big heavy foods to feel good or feel satisfied, you can ask yourself, where in my life am I lacking fulfillment? And so anyway, those are just some fun tips to think about, or fun little things to consider in your own life if that's pertaining to you or not. And sometimes it doesn't have to mean something big and heavy like that. It can just mean I want something crunchy to eat, and that's that. Anyway, if you have any further nutritional needs or health needs, we're happy to help you at Okoboji Wellness Clinic.